and welcome to Out in Front. She arrived at the United States of America with $25 in her wallet. Cameroonian currency, I'm talking about 12,500 CFA francs. 18 years down the line, she is a six-figure earner and she is living the American dream. She is an entrepreneur, a success coach, an award-winning author, a direct sales expert, leadership development consultant, and a talk show host. Though she loves to always mention her imaginary kingdom called Zamunda, truth be told, she is a princess. She's got royal blood. She is the daughter of the chief of Babunka in Dop in the northwest region of Cameroon. She is married to Babila Sonny PINYIN, and together they have a 15-year-old boy called Denzel. Hello and welcome to the program, Emeldine.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Outstanding. How about you? You look
I'm
gorgeous.
doing great. Thank you. Thank you. You look very, very good, I should say.
Thank you.
Now, it's absolutely nuts to think that you came into this country with $25 in your wallet. I'm talking about 12,500 francs. And today you are a six-figure earner. Like, can you just tell me how this all happened? Can you tell me about your coming to America story?
So I came here 18 years ago.
Yeah.
With a big dream burning brightly in my heart. I was a young girl like any other young girl, not just in Cameroon, in Africa, who thinks that the West is where we all should be. And of course, because I'm from the English-speaking part, I wanted to come to America.
Yeah.
We always talk about America being the land of opportunities, flowing with milk and honey. And many of us finish college and don't have jobs. When I talk about college, I mean university. No jobs. I mean, I started off like every other Cameroonian from primary school in Yaoundé, and then my dad, who was a custom officer, now the founder of Bamuka, was transferred to Douala and then Bamenda. I went to Bayele, and I went to Bipanda. That's another popular Anglophone primary school in Douala, and then from there I went to Lourdes, so I'm a lesson.
Yes.
From Lourdes I went to Seka. After Seka I went to CPC Valley, so I'm also a Boban. And from there I went on to University of Boya, Unibu.
Yeah.
Did my time in there, and at the end of it all I wanted to come here.
Okay.
So that was the journey, just looking for greener pastures.
Correct.
Looking for bigger opportunities.
Okay. Now you started off as an IT database administrator. I should say that was a safe and good job, but you wanted more and you found yourself in the coaching industry, in the direct sales industry. You want to tell me why? Why did you switch?
I have one better for you. So I started in the IT field, but really I started where almost everybody who comes to the US starts off. I started off with a nursing job. Wow. Because that was the easiest thing. You see, when you come here, the people that you meet always want you to do what they do. And back in the days, almost everyone I knew was a nurse. There were CNAs, there were LPNs, there were RNs, some of them work in nursing homes. So I did work in a nursing home. So I figured, okay, I needed to upgrade my level a little bit.
Okay.
So I went to UDC to become a nurse, an LPN. While I was doing that, the IT field had just started booming back then. So I was going to school during the week to become an LPN, and then on the weekends I would go take DBA classes. That was Oracle Database Administration classes. And I finished that, and in 6 months into my nursing program, I got a job offer as a database administrator. So I started there, and of course when your mind begins to expand, something interesting begins to happen. You begin to want more. And while you're working there, you're thinking, when I had a $7 job, I thought, oh my gosh, if I could just make $20 an hour, I would be living the life, right?
Yeah.
Then I get this job at $75,000 a year, and I'm still broke. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with this picture? Like 75 grand is not enough a year. And then I thought about starting a business.
Okay.
A friend of mine introduced me to a home-based business, the whole concept of direct sales. It made so much sense to me. And then the money potential felt right to me.
Okay.
And so I put my heart and my soul into it. And that's how my entrepreneurial journey started.
Okay.
Really, quite honestly, that's how we started.
Okay. I believe when people say if you you go from learning to earning,
Mm-hmm.
you can never go wrong. You can hardly go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a lot to teach. You have a lot to give because you've done a lot of learning. It's true. It starts from somewhere, but there should be some kind of books that people have to read.
Yes.
Now, what has reading done in your life? And I want to ask, like, how many books have you read so far?
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yes. And my passion for reading did not just start here. I started reading from back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had an aunt, Mrs. Jane Gonga, God bless you, Auntie Jane.
Yeah.
She and my mother were avid readers. They loved to read. And so they would make us read books.
Good.
And so we started reading very early like that. So reading had always been a passion for me. But the first book that transformed my life came to me, I like to say, back then I said accidentally, but knowing what I know, owning the space that I own now, there are no coincidences in life.
Right.
You attract everything that you want in your life. For those of you who are out there, the people in your life, the house you live in, the car you drive, the job you have, the clothes you wear, everything you attract, you have the power to attract it to yourself. Some people don't understand when that's happening, and I didn't. So because I always wanted to be more, do more, have more, it's always been a burning desire in my heart. I attracted a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. When I was in Form 4, I read that book. And then I attracted another book called Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of what I like to say, my awakening, my enlightenment. It taught me a different way of thinking, of being. I think that was the moment where I literally, in front of everybody else, just started transforming. Because everything I have, everything I am, everything I will become has come through books, reading.
Yeah.
In the book, it says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." The first time I heard that passage, I was like, that verse, I was like, wait a minute, what does that mean? But truly, people are perishing because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
So reading has expanded my world.
Now, we've talked about your reading addiction, but we have to talk also about your writing prowess.
Yes.
You've written a lot of books. You're an award winner.
Yes.
And let's talk about some of the books that you've written.
I think I'm a storybook for any young girl in Africa, not just Cameroon, in Africa, who has a burning dream. I think I'm a storybook, a poster child, to let them know that you absolutely can live your dreams.
Yes.
But because who would have thought that I would be in a book called Mastering the Art of Success with Les Brown, Mark Victor Hansen, and Jack Canfield, talking about success. You know, when they asked me to co-author in this book, I wrote about the power of understanding the power of overcoming limiting beliefs. Because I feel like most people, they're not successful, you know, because they have limiting beliefs. So I talked about, you know, overcoming limiting beliefs. The limiting belief that I'm just a girl from the cornfields of Africa with an accent, not from a particularly rich family, who's going to want to hear my story.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not good enough. But that's just a story you tell yourself. That's a limiting belief that you impose on yourself. So you need to be able to break that. And then after that, again, I got really lucky. Bob Proctor is also one of my, oh my gosh, I love Bob. Like when I talk about someone that understands life and the power of the subconscious mind and how to get you to experience a shift, Bob Proctor is like totally my go-to guy. And to have been blessed to co-author in a book called Concrete Jungle with him. And the whole concept here is it's like survivor's secrets for the real world. Oh yeah. How do you survive in the real world? You know, I mean, I must have done something right for someone in America to think, I want to hear your story. How do you survive? And so in this book, I wrote about the spirit of an achiever. You know, what is it going to take for you to become successful? So we talk about every day in Africa, you know, a lion wakes up and is looking for something to eat. But a gazelle wakes up and says, I have to run faster than the fastest lion. Exactly. Otherwise, I will be their food for that day. So in Africa, when the sun comes up, you better hit the ground running. Exactly. Same thing here in the world. Like, it's a jungle, except it's not bushes. Our kind of jungle is concrete. Exactly. It's concrete jungle. Like when you hit the pavement, when you get in your car, you're driving to work, understand that today is a jungle and I have to conquer and dominate my day. You know, so I was blessed to write that. Of course, because I'm all about leadership. You know, when Warren Bennis is like a leader's leader. Like John Maxwell, we talk about Warren Bennis. Like all of them would talk about him.
Okay.
So, and you know, a rep, she's a House rep in the U.S.
Okay.
You know, Pat Schreider. I mean, to be able to co-author in a book about leadership with them, helping others to succeed, because that's what leadership is all about. Leadership is influence, helping people to succeed. Taking them by the hand and say, I'll show you the way. Come walk with me.
Yeah.
Let me show you the way, okay? And trust me when we do that. So I co-authored in that book with them. But I think my most prized possession was when I wrote my book, okay? You know, so starting off in the direct sales industry, literally going from $25 in my pocket to having earned more than $6 million in home-based businesses, running my business from home. You know, I wanted to write and tell people about what it takes to succeed from home. You know, really, what does it mean to start a business, grow the business, take it to the next level, and impact lives. So in 2014, my first book came out. It was called Breakthrough, or it is called Breakthrough, How to Build a $1 Million Business by Helping Others Succeed.
Okay.
That's what the book is all about. And this book was such a blessing, because in the first 4 hours, it became a bestseller on Amazon. A #1 bestseller on Amazon. You know, and I started the book, of course, with my favorite mentors, you know, Oprah and, of course, Anthony, like the people in my life who I just love, you know, John Maxwell, Darren Hardy, Paula White, another woman that I just totally love and admire. Dr. Mike Murdoch, a lot of people in Africa know Dr. Mike Murdoch, one of my spiritual coaches. Larry King, Iyanla Vanzant, like all, you know, I started them with the pictures of me and all of them. And of course, Robert Kiyosaki, who teaches about, you know, being successful. So writing is become a passion for me. I'm actually in the process of writing 2 other books.
You have been coached, you have been educated by the very best. I'm talking about somebody like your role model, Anthony Robbins, and not to talk less of John C. Maxwell. You want to tell me, first of all, about these 2 people?
And I picked a book that just literally transformed me, Awaken the Giant Within You. That was by Anthony Robbins, and that was how he became my mentor. Ended up meeting him in 2012, and he's been my personal mentor, teacher, coach, and friend, personal friend since then. John C. Maxwell, so I became successful, and as my organization grew, I mean, I had an organization that I led 90,000 distributors. You know, that's pretty massive.
Exactly.
And you cannot lead people if you're not a leader. And I wanted to understand the principles, the concepts of leadership. And the first book I read was by John C. Maxwell. It was called The 360-Degree Leader. I wanted to be a 360-degree leader, all around, in
all
every
the way,
all the way leader. And when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, I love him. I need to meet him. And then I read a second book of his called Leadership Gold. Incredible book. And ended up having the opportunity to meet him in 2009, and we started working together then. Did some events in Nigeria, and then when he decided to open up the John Maxwell coaching, teaching faculty, I became a founding member. So these 2 people, I feel like, because leadership is my thing, and because entrepreneurship and personal development is my thing, when it comes to those spaces, when I think about leadership, I think about John C. Maxwell. You know, he has the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership that I just love. And then there's Tony Robbins, who's just all of that for people all over the world. But then the third mentor that I have in my life is Oprah Winfrey. You know, I came to the U.S. and I could resonate with her story. You know, when you think about who she is, where she came from, being black, from Mississippi, back in the 60s, in the heart of segregation, going from that to becoming Oprah, known by one name, Oprah. I mean, that is something. And then one day, watching her, a little voice said to me, you could do that. I was like, where did that come from? Like, hell no, I can't do that. I'm from Africa, I'm Cameroonian, I'm a woman, I have an accent. Nobody's going to want to listen to me. I can't do that. Mind you, this was about 17 years ago this happened. And that voice never left me. And one day I saw her in South Africa when she opened up the school for leadership in South Africa. I'd come back from work, I had a rough day, and I was watching her do all that she was doing in Africa. And a little voice said to me, if she could go do this in Africa, and she's not African, how about you? And I was crying. Why? I don't know. But because that day, it feels like my soul just popped open. It felt like my path was laid out for me. I was like, That's going to be
That
my
was the
path.
break.
That was my breakthrough.
In one of your books, you say no winner ever got there without a coach, where you
Yes.
kind of reiterated the importance of coaching or the job of a coach. But a lot of people don't know what coaching is all about. You want to tell us about it and the importance of coaching?
It's the same concept with a soccer team, a football team.
Yeah.
You see, Eto'o is an excellent soccer player or football player, but he had to have a coach.
Yeah.
LeBron James is an excellent basketball player, or Michael Jordan. They had to have a coach. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So a coach is someone that can observe you, see what you're doing, and help you course correct. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
You can never solve a problem with the same mindset that created that problem. That's where coaches come in. They come in to help you think about a different way of doing things, seeing things with a fresh set of eyes, taking yourself out of the equation and looking from the outside.
Okay.
You see what I mean? So a coach is someone that has been there, done that, and is wearing the t-shirt. So think about it this way. If you want to become a doctor, who teaches in Q's? Doctors.
The doctors.
Exactly. If you want to become an engineer, who teaches in all the engineering schools?
Engineers.
Engineers. That's how it is. So if you want to become successful, you have to follow someone who is already successful. The biggest mistake in life for most people is that they want to become a doctor and they talk to their friends who are carpenters and mechanics and housewives and lawyers about becoming a doctor. Well, guess what? If they knew how to become a doctor, they would have been doctors themselves.
Exactly.
Same thing. If you want to become successful, who do you talk to? Someone who's already successful. I want to become the best in the world. That's why I follow John Maxwell. That's why I follow Anthony Robbins. That's why I'm glued to Oprah Winfrey, because they are living my life and I want to learn from them regardless of how much it costs me. I pay for that. So a coach is someone who knows the way, has walked the path, and can teach you how to go that path. They can tell you about all of their mistakes, all the things that they did wrong, so that you don't replicate their mistake. I'm a life and business coach. So I coach people personally, but I also coach entrepreneurs.
Okay.
You see, so you need them for both. You cannot succeed without a coach. Even in companies, I'll tell you something. Even in companies, I was working with a client who wanted to become successful in her job, but she had no clue how to network in her job. So she would go to work in the morning and then come back home, and that was it. She was never going to the meetings after the meetings. She never knew who the real influencers were at her job. So working with her, I had to teach her how to network in the job, how to look for the key people, how to get the promotions. Because see, guess what? How is it that two people could start in a job today?
Yeah.
5 years down the road, one is a manager and the other is still same
We call
place.
it in Cameroon witchcraft. That the person has yeah, witchcraft.
Or if you're a woman, you're sleeping
With the
your
boss. Yes.
I have to tell you something. If I was in Cameroon, they would have said I slept with everybody.
Exactly.
Heaven help you if you're a beautiful girl in Cameroon, you're smart,
Yes.
you're intelligent, you're driven, and you're a go-getter.
Exactly.
In Africa, they think you have to sleep with someone to get there. No, it's called networking. It's called knowing who the people, the movers and the shakers are in your corporation. Who are the key people that you need to go to? Who do you need to network with? Who do you need to know in this setting that can mention your name? Because there's always some time that they're having a meeting. Who is your sponsor? In a corporate world, they will call it a sponsor. Who mentions your name? Who brings your name to the table and say, look at this person. What do you think about them? It's not witchcraft. It's understanding the game and knowing how to play it. That's what coaches do. They help you understand the game and teach you how to play it.
Now, you often describe yourself as a woman of profound faith. And I was wondering, faith in God or faith in hard work?
Both. But my profound faith really is in God. When I say I believe 1000% that our lives are bigger than just this body, I mean it. Not only that I mean it, I know it. We are spiritual beings on a physical experience here on earth. And you cannot believe that much about being a spiritual being and you're only operating in the physical. So because of that, that's why I say I'm a woman of profound faith. 75% of the books I read are about faith, are about spirituality. I'm drawn to them. And then, of course, I'm also profound when it comes to faith in yourself, in believing in yourself. Because, listen, there are only two voices in anybody's head on every given Sunday or every day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Two voices. Fear, faith. Fear, faith. Right now, as you're listening to me, as I'm talking to you, there's only two things that's going on in your mind. It's the voice of fear and the voice of faith. Ultimately, you get to decide whom you will
listen
serve.
to.
When the pastor says decide whom you will serve as your master, is are you going to serve the voice of fear or are you going to serve the voice of faith? When you serve the voice of fear, you're depressed, you're angry, you're broke, you're struggling, you have limiting beliefs, you think I'm small, I'm a woman, I'm Cameroonian, I can never be successful, blah, 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 blah. It's the people in government that have all the money.
Yes.
It's somebody who's from a wonder who knows all the money.
Exactly.
I can come to Cameroon today from Bamenda with my accent and become a billionaire.
Yes.
Mindset. When I listen to the voice of faith, it tells me that I am powerful beyond measure. It tells me I am fearfully and wonderfully made. It tells me I'm the head and not the tail. It tells me I'm a victor and not a victim. It tells me that I can walk on scorpions, on lions, on adders. Are you kidding me? That's what it tells me. It tells me I can raise the dead. I can do more, over exceedingly and beyond what Christ did. I didn't say it, he said it. So I just choose to listen to the voice of faith. That tells me, King, you could be, do, have anything you want in life.
And when I listen to you, when I see your lifestyle, when I see the way you live, I'm like, she is happy. She is living a fairy tale.
Yes.
Is there a dark side?
I'm a generally very, very happy person. That's one thing
Yeah.
about me. I thank God for my soul. I have a very unconquerable soul. I'm like that way. And I thank God for that. But I've had the dark stories. I mean, I've had death. And I had to overcome that. But I've also had mega failures that I had to overcome. I've had my heart broken by guys, just like every other woman. You know, many times I've had many betrayals from friends that stabbed you in the back. You know, many times. But I think that when you look at me right now, when you look at my life, and you think it's great, let me tell you one of my mega failures. And I'm saying this to give anybody out there who is going through stuff right now permission. So when I came and started the jobs that I told you about, hustling, you know, the rat race in America, trying to make ends meet, there were days when I never had two pennies to rub against each other. Yeah. So I came here. That was another dark period because I was broke. I was struggling to make ends meet. When I came here, I met my husband. He was broke. Like, we were all struggling, living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 other guys, 1 bathroom, struggling. And in the midst of all of this struggle, I found out that I was pregnant. Yeah. When I talk about struggling, I mean struggling to the point where most nights I had to drink orange juice to go to sleep. Just because there was no money. I mean, our rent was $650. Mind you, I'm talking about 4 of us. $650. Split 2 ways between my roommate and friend and his brother and my husband and I. So $325, and we could not afford to pay that every month. Our grocery money was $20 a week. I had to figure out how to feed 3 African men and myself weekly on $20. Chicken feet, gizzard, basabi, bad for hook up the matter. That was when that market had to go every day for Cameroon and then help you. Like, money, I want that gizzard now. Chicken feet, it's cheap. I was at farmer's market day. You know, I cried so much at my doctor's office, and she was like, "What is going on with you?" I'm like, "I'm broke. I can't take care of myself. How am I going to take care of a child?" And she told me about a program that's called WIC. In America, that's a welfare program. Now, people in Cameroon don't know what that means. It means you're so poor, people have to help you. My father came and saw the scenario, and he was like, "This is not working. I'm taking this child back home." So he took my son, 1 year old.
That hurts.
Oh,
That hurts.
There's no pain quite like that. So I was sending my son from America straight to Bamunka and Dub. My son came with asthma. He was asthmatic. There was no money for daycare. Daycare is at least $650. I didn't have $650. 15 years ago.
Now
The shoes that I'm wearing,
oh yeah, the red bottom.
it's $1,000.
Yes.
I say life is interesting.
Yes.
That was my dark moment. In my dark moment, I could not afford $650
Yes.
for my child's school fee. Today, I wear it on my feet. You see? So from every dark moment comes light. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a matter of how you go through your dark moments.